A very good morning to one and all you my dear students. This is your history sir Syed Hassan. I'll be teaching you history during this academic year 2020-21. I hope during this pandemic, though we are at home, I believe that everything should always begin with a prayer. And let us just stand for a moment, join our hands and pray that as we believe in that this pandemic has not only caused life, it has also brought positivity, that it has brought all of us together, though at home. We may not be actually in the classroom, but let us not forget that we are here to learn, to educate ourselves, and this should go on. So just let us join our hands and pray to the Almighty that He brings happiness and showers His blessing upon each one of us. Oh God, be with me today and help me to do my best. Give me all that I can. Give me, bless me, my family, every individual member of this society, state, nation, and the world. In a very special manner, bless a father manager, Nelson Saldana, a head teacher, Ma'am Patricia, and supervisor Sir Peter, and all teachers and the supporting staff. May the Almighty bless each one of us in a very special manner. Saint Dominic Savio, pray for us. Good morning, students. As I said, that it's the first day, which is totally a different setup, and I would like to welcome each one of you with a flower. So, as it's the first day of this academic year of the subject history, I would like to welcome each one of you. Each one of you are shining star of Standard 8, where you would have been eagerly waiting, suddenly from 7th standard, especially the boys, where from 7th standard in half pant you were, and now you're going to be in the full pant. And I'm very sure each one of us, including me, you will be anxiously waiting as to who our history teacher is going to be. So my friends, once again I introduce myself. I'm Sir Hassan Syed. I'll be teaching you history during this academic year. But before I begin, my friends, let me tell you in a very special manner that history is very easy. We have never tried, in order to understand as to what is history. We say history lectures are bore and we don't really want to study. But we will make it interesting this year, and we are definitely going through this academic year, through this new mode of learning. And we as teachers going to teach you through this online teaching method, through Google Classrooms and through YouTube. And I'm very sure that each one of you would be anxiously waiting as to what is the new that is going to come, my dear friends. So before I begin, let me tell you, history is not his story. We need to understand as to what is history. And when I say history, what comes to my mind is people tend to say that history is boring, let it be at the bottom. But let me tell you, it can be interesting if you and I together enjoy reading and understanding the story. We all are aware with this fact that you would have studied in Standard 7 that history is divided in 3 parts: ancient, medieval, and modern. In this academic year 2020-21 in Standard 8, we are going to study about modern history. Now, history is everything related to 3. If you talk about, sir, how history is related to 3, I would say that if you want to study about history, you use 3 sources, that is oral sources, written sources, and material sources. If you want to study about the entire period of history, you can divide it in 3 parts: the ancient period, the medieval period, and the modern period. So we are going to exclusively discuss throughout this academic year about the modern history. Now, even if you want to know about the modern history, you can easily divide it into 3 parts. If you want to understand the history of our country, India, you can divide in 3 parts. For example, you can talk, that is the first period, 1757, with the Battle of Plassey we will discuss. Then we'll come to 1857, the national uprising of 1857, and the last, which we all are aware with it, 1947, the year of independence. My dear students, it's going to be damn interesting if you listen and pay attention. And let me tell you, when you listen to this video and after you finish, I said, and I always repeat it, that remember the 3 R's: read the lesson, review as to what the teachers are teaching, and recap as to what is being done. So let me begin with this new topic of altogether of history on a brand new note through online teaching. Here we go. morning, students. As I said that we are going to start with the subject history and civics for this academic year. As you can see on the very first slide, my name is there, Hassan sir. I'll be teaching history and civics. And before I begin teaching you, my dear students, let me tell you that you should be well versed with what is the cover page of the history textbook. I always say, never judge a book by its cover, but with the subject it is the other way around. Whatever the content is there inside the book, you will come to know only when you look at its cover. For example, when you go to buy a biscuit packet, you look at the cover, and when you like the cover, you buy the product. So it's the similar thing with history. So what is the cover page all about? If you look at your textbook, now one thing request that please don't go to the bookstall to buy the books. You can easily download it from eBalbharti, that is e-cart. Whichever subject book you want, you can buy it. You don't need to pay any money for it. You just need to download it directly. You have to go to the Google search, go to eBalbharti, e-cart, and just download books, whichever standard from standard 1 to standard 10 you require. Now, whether you have it or not, but your first cover page, that is of history and civics, has various pictures. Now, the very first picture that you'll have is the picture of the Red Fort. Now, this picture is self-explanatory. This Red Fort is located at Delhi. So, if somebody will ask you, you have history textbook, what is this picture all about? I think as a student, you should know the cover page first very importantly, and then surely we are going to go in depth with the lesson. The next slide, what I'm showing you right now, towards your right hand side is that of the pic of Hutatma Chowk, again which is located at Mumbai. So the first picture is of Red Fort, Delhi. The second picture is of Hutatma Chowk, Mumbai. Now just below the pic of Red Fort, you will find the picture of Cellular Jail, which is at Port Blair. If in your lifetime you get an opportunity, my dear students, please do visit Andaman and Nicobar Island. It's one of the most beautiful islands that you would have ever seen in your life. So here this is Cellular Jail, which when we will talk about when we discuss with the lesson about Swatantra Veer Savarkar. He was kept in prison here. I'll discuss in detail when we start with this chapter. So this is the picture of Cellular Jail, which is at Port Blair. Now the next picture next to the Cellular Jail is that of the Jallianwala Bagh, which is at Amritsar, Punjab. Now when you look at this Jallianwala Bagh, it is related to the massacre that took place in Jallianwala Bagh. This Jallianwala Bagh is very close to the Golden Temple. So you can see the picture of the Jallianwala Bagh. Now the next picture what you can see is of Bapu Kutir. Now where is this Bapu Kutir? It is at Sevagram, Wardha, which is in Maharashtra. Now sir, why are you talking and discussing with us about the pictures of the textbook? I am very sure, confident that whenever you will buy your textbook, you will have the picture on it. So you should know the cover page. That is what I feel essential as a history teacher. So you will find this Bapu Kutir at Sevagram, which is at Wardha. The next picture immediately next to it is that of the picture of Rajabai Tower, which is at Fort. It is very much in the University of Mumbai, which is located at Fort. And next to this, you'll also find the High Court of Mumbai. Okay? This was about history, the first cover page. Now, when you turn the page totally on the other side of this, you'll find the pictures that is related and associated with civics. So here in the next slide, you will see the picture of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Now, here is this place where our president of our country sits. And this is one of the most beautiful buildings that was been built by the Britishers. And right now we all are aware with it. Who is the President of India? Anyone? I can hear somebody saying, okay, very good. It's Ramnath Kovind. Very good. The next picture to that, you will find that of the Parliament of India, again which is located at New Delhi. And you have the Prime Minister and all the other members of the Parliament who sit here. So when we discuss about the civics chapter, we are going to discuss about the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the President's House. We are going to talk about the Parliament of India. And the next slide, what you can see is that of the Supreme Court of India, which is again located at New Delhi. Now, the Supreme Court is at the apex of all the court. It is the highest court. The decision that has been taken by the Supreme Court cannot be challenged in any part of the country. The next picture, what you can see is that of the Vidhan Parishad, which is located at Mumbai. So this is a brief introduction about the pictures which you will find it on the textbook on both the sides. And before I begin, as I said, let us understand the cover page. And now when you go to your index, we will begin with the first chapter. But as I said, again, read, review and recap. Let's go to the class and start with chapter number 1. So we are going to begin with chapter number 1, Sources of History. If you remember, my dear students, I said that there are 3 sources of history: oral source, material source and written source. And history is divided in 3 parts: ancient history, medieval history and modern history. In this chapter, we are going to see what are the various sources of history, which will include even the modern technology such as audio, video and audiovisual is also included. Now when we talk specific in terms of material sources, it includes the various objects, monuments like Taj Mahal, the various places, coins during the time that was been minted of Shivaji Maharaj, Samudragupta Maurya, the sculptures, and they are all included as the material source as they are evident. You can see it with your eyes. Now this material source also includes the building and places which were specially made or believed as the Europeans, especially the British rulers and the governance of the princely state. In this period, various building, bridges, roads, water supply systems, fountain, etc. were built. Now these buildings include government offices, residence of officers and the leaders and revolutionaries. It also includes the palaces of the rulers of princely states, forts, prisons. If you remember, I showed you the prison, that is the cellular jail. Among these monuments, many buildings are intact even today. People can go visit this place, and at the same time, what they can do is they can also click the pictures there. So it is kind of an evidence of material source. Now, among these monuments, buildings, some are declared as national monument. Now, what are national monuments? These national monuments are declared to be of national heritage of our country. For example, some which can include, as we saw in the beginning of the chapter, which is there on your cover page, the cellular jail, which is at Andaman. Now, what is our responsibility as a student while visiting these sites? What do we get to know? We get to know about the contemporary history. Now, what is the meaning of the word contemporary? Ancient history. We come to know about the architecture, we come to know about the nature of the monument and also the economic condition of that particular period. As I said again and again, we are taking the example of cellular jail. We get the information about the great revolutionary, that is Veer Damodar Savarkar, who was known as V.D. Savarkar. Now, if you go towards technical school after the pandemic comes to an end, if you go towards a technical school, exactly opposite to that lane, there is a beautiful statue of Veer Savarkar. Now, my dear students, are you aware which airport is named after him? Anyone from the class? Can you guess it? Yes. When you go to Andaman and Nicobar Island and when you get down at Port Blair, it is also called as Savarkar International Airport. Now, even when you visit Mani Bhavan in Mumbai or Sevagram Ashram, which we discussed of Mahatma Gandhi, which is at Wardha, Maharashtra. Now, where is Wardha? Wardha is in Nagpur. Very good. I can hear somebody saying Nagpur. And who are the 2 prominent leaders presently who are in politics? Any guesses? Yes. It includes Mr. Nitin Gadkari ji and Devendra Fadnavis ji, ex-Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So when you go to Sevagram Ashram at Wardha, which is in Nagpur, we come to know or get the information about the history of Gandhian era. Now, what are statues and memorials? Now, many a times, as a mark of remembrance, the statues were been built. Like the first statue that we saw on the cover page, that of Hutatma Chowk. Now, during the pre-independence and the post-independence. Now, what is the meaning of the word pre? Pre means before. And what is the meaning of the word post? Post means after. So, during the pre and the post-independence, the memorials of many personalities were erected Now, who are these personalities? The people who laid down their life for our country. Now, it was in the form of statues. Now, these statues are also important for the study of modern Indian history. Why? Because they are evident to it. We get as an evidence to see the statues, as we discussed about the cellular jail. Again, I'm repeating it. We talked about the Hutatma Chowk. Now, the various statues provide us the information about the contemporary rulers and eminent personalities. And what do? They display the plaque on the statues, giving us information about the full name of the concerned person, the birth and the death details, and it also provides us with the brief information about their contribution and a biographical sketch. In short, written about the date of birth, their contribution, and when did they die, or when did they lay down their life for the country. Just when you see the statue of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule or Lokmanya Tilak or Baba Saheb Ambedkar, they are erected in the memory of various events, and through this we can get various important information. So, what is it? It is one of the most important sources of information for us, and they are what? They are sources of history. I think today we only discussed about what is the meaning of history, and we discussed about the sources of history. In the next lecture, we'll go in detail about the other sources of history. Please feel free to raise questions and clear your doubts. Go through the lesson and clarify your doubts. Thank you very much. God bless.